Welcome, my name is Sheep Thief, and today I'll be coming at you with a Age of Mythology replay analysis. Today will be a game on the ranked ladder between myself and Rainier YDF. I'm playing Loki, and he is playing Kronos. Kronos is one of the Atlantean gods that I am interested in. I'm sort of interested in Gaia as well, but Kronos is kind of calling me. I'm aligned against Saturn as a human, but in this game, all in good fun, I may start playing Kronos. Anyway, yeah, so I do my normal opening. Not a ton to talk about. We got these hippopotami, which can kill villagers. They do 6 damage. They aren't as scary as a rhinoceros, which is found over here, which can definitely kill villagers. They have 8 attack, 150 more food. But so far so good. We've got 2 forests kind of guarding a gold mine. No back gold mine, a back berry bush situation, 3 hippopotami, some chickens. I am able to save on an ox cart because of this palm tree right here. I'm against Atlanteans, which means I have a bit of an advantage against as far as getting goats goes. So I'm trying to get my goats. Go for an extra dwarf here while finishing up my dwarfs and then my scouting, and then I come back and start building my house defensively, not going forward against Kronos because of course Kronos does go forward. I don't understand the specifics of it. Like I said, I have not played much Kronos. However, I do know enough that Kronos can be quite aggressive. So you can see my scouting isn't amazing. I didn't get the opportunity to get my spy power off. But compared to my opponent, maybe he has a little better scouting than I do at this point. He's getting a couple goats in there. Yeah, only 2 extra goats, I think, so definitely I've got the advantage as far as goats goes. So I do get my temple up, and I go for a 4th dwarf right before I go up. Relatively sort of standard advance time, I think. Right around 3 minutes. 4 dwarfs on gold, and then switch these vills over to wood. I get my Herser, and he comes forward with the scout. I walk right past, coming for this relic, which causes human soldiers to do more damage to buildings. He deconstructs my temple, which does interrupt the creation of a Herser. I pull away from this to get the temple because my Ulfsark's over here trying to get spy off. It almost dies to the town center. But we also kind of distract these 2 Prometheans over here, slowing down their arrival just a little bit. I'm building the temple. I do think that I was sort of questioning this at the time. Should I have just gone for the relic right away? But I do think it was important to get the temple up here. We get our troll. And because I have like no production capability really, I do get the axe and the pickaxe and wall this off. At this point I do think I should be going and getting this. He could be like heroizing this and getting this himself. I believe so. This Hursar goes up, and this Hursar wanders off to go get that. I think I was waiting for the house to be built, and then sent him on his way. We've got the two Prometheans lurking ominously, and then skulking towards us. These very creepy-looking creatures. And they hop over to the dwarves. I do pull them away. I don't really want to take too much damage on the dwarves. I get a Hursar on top of it. One of them goes down, they deconstruct. This one pulls over here. We've got the two on this villager though. This villager is wandering in a very strange direction. She's a beautiful Norse villager. It does go down. And the Ulfsar goes forward. We take care of the fragments over here at the cost of a villager. And we hit this and the two fragments open up. And we are going to finish off these Prometheans, but he's killed a villager, which I think is worth it for him. I think he's done the damage that he needs to do. He is starting to pull ahead and score. We get the relic, and over here my Hursar is having a little more trouble against these ranged cavalry than I would have expected. I thought he'd be kind of fine, but he does go down a little faster than I would have thought. And now the two Prometheans and a Terma for a Hursar and a villager. I think he is certainly coming out on top of that exchange, but there's not some decisive tactical crisis at this point. Just a sort of general strategic disadvantage. He is pushing sort of forward with this forward base, and he's got another Promethean. I kind of want to read the lore on these really quick. So, but have decent armor and attack values. Several smaller Prometheans rise from the clay of the first. And then it's just the story of Prometheus. Oh wait, he and his brother Epimetheus were tasked with the creation of humanity and shaped the first people from clay. I didn't realize that. Pitying the frail mortals, he gave his creations the gift of fire so they could become strong. So, yeah, I think against Hursars, these things aren't that strong, but I think he did exactly what he wanted, what he needed to do. I think making that other one, unless is this a fragment? I think that's a full one. I think he made that. Getting this, I think this was sort of providential. I knew he had some units over here, but I didn't know. You can see my perspective reveals that I don't have any idea of what's happening over here. I just have a general sense that he retreated in that direction, and my units kind of happen to be here. I'm not too happy with this wall. I did feel a little off after losing that villager, and I was a little worried about the score, and some sloppiness started. First of all, there's this hole right here which you could be getting through. The other thing is that there's no like gate here for me to hop back and forth. I'm kind of blocking myself with my own buildings, and as you can see here, I'm having to like take fire and kind of fight here. The throwing axe spawn is not perfect. Now I'm split up, whereas if I'd sort of made one gate right here and then made this great hall, this whole thing would be like way easier to defend. I do have to pop this healing spring, and you can just see how much the like lack of a gate here it's cost me at least 3 units right there. Troll is still alive, and I'm able to start doing damage with the troll and the throwing axeman, and kind of get some revenge here. Well, we get some damage done. He's trying to push with the Cairo Ballista. I'm not entirely sure what these units do, but we're able to actually get a lot of kills here. I think he wasn't really paying attention as he was sieging that, and we killed most of his melee units, which inspires me to push forward and get a Cairo Ballista, but it gets like a really fat shot onto the face of one of my Hursars, so we lose a Hursar, and then a throwing axeman goes down. But we come back here and heal. One of his units is looking a little worse for wear, and we did get a Cairo Ballista, which I think is a fairly expensive unit. Yeah, definitely. So, maybe not a horrible trade. And our score is behind. He does get this second TC up, which is going to strain his food. which is kind of good for me, but in the long run it'll be very bad for me because his economy will be stronger. Once again, you can see I'm making a big error by not making a gate here. Like, this should be a strong position here, but instead I'm making it kind of a pain for myself by having it be so without a gate. This is kind of locking me off just as much as it's locking him off. So gates are important. I'm trying to decide whether or not to go for a raid with cavalry at this point. I send this over there and kind of send it back. Get in some. Everything's healed up, which is nice. Get in more cavalry. Over here, he's building production as well. You can see his food is kind of straining here. He doesn't have a lot of production coming out. He's got 2 citizens being trained at a time. This costs a lot of food. Look at that. So I'm a little curious, and he's only got 6 villagers on food, so I think this is a major error on his part. I think he's not able to get the units out that he should be because he's got too much on some of these other resources. I pop out over here to try to fight a little bit. He's somehow gotten medium termite up, so these are going to be doing more damage. And once again, I'm getting kind of blocked off by not having a gate. I know I've said it about a million times, but it's like triggering me watching this. If there was just a gate right here, everything would be so much better. My eco, I want to say, is a little more balanced, having a bit of food issues, but we're not stacking up on too many resources. He's definitely stacking up on some resources. He's got significantly more villagers at this point. The military is roughly equal. I think this is largely due to just the pure cost of the settlers, or the citizens. Over here going for a sort of raid with the cavalry. I think especially if I have the Pierce upgrade, going in for this isn't the end of the world because you can do some damage and I can come back and heal them. They get healed pretty quick. And it kind of freaks people out too, so he probably... What's he doing? He's not really making much stuff. But our resources collected are roughly equal, and we're starting to pull ahead a little bit in military. We lose a throwing axeman though. Got our trolls coming forward, and here we go, first fight. So get in there. Trolls get a pretty decent boulder throw, and cavalry gets onto the back line, which is good. The throwing axeman just tank it, and we get a really nice Iron Fury blast, which gives us the boost we need to just kind of clear up at the very end without taking as many losses as I think we may have. Trying to fight these Cairo Ballista up here, and we do clear. Ah, maybe I should have stayed. I do pull out. I'm a little worried about my lack of... I lost a lot of Hersers there. I'm down to 1 Herser. This Iron Fury, I'm trying to micro it out, but it just spurgs out and dies, so kind of an L right there. I should have just dragged everything instead of tried to use my command groups. Getting some key upgrades here in the form of some armory upgrades, and I do get the medium cavalry and the medium infantry. I've already gotten that out. He's going for more Prometheans, more Cairo Ballista, and more Murmillos. Citizens are still coming out, but he has balanced his oh wait, that looks like me. I think maybe we have to do this. Yeah, so he's balancing out his eco a little more. He's got some idle villagers, so that's not good. And we're pulling ahead in terms of resources. That was a good battle for us for sure. So over here, we're trying to keep the pressure up. I don't want him to. At this point, I do know. I guess I don't know, but that's up at this point. We go in here, really massive troll throw right there, huge. Get a jogger spawn, and over here we've got these 2 kind of well-placed Cairo Ballista right here that are a little hard to get to. Can't even reach that thing. And another army cleared up. Let me pull back. I think maybe I'm being foolish by pulling back so much, but I am just trying to get value out of the healing spring, which if he keeps fighting me in the classical age, this should kind of be in my favor because we're not spending resources and we'll be able to keep him in the classical, not have to spend money on soldiers, and then we can go up to the heroic age to deal with these buildings with the heroic age siege units. So that's my general thought process. Looking at it now, I think it's a little questionable, but I didn't feel like fighting under a TC, and there's just a lot of stuff there. But I kind of forgot that I had that bonus to against buildings. So maybe if there ever was a time to just like start sieging stuff with my infantry, that this would be it. But bunch of trolls. We do get the troll upgrade. What does this mean? Oh yeah. So pushing forward with the throwing axeman now. I'm not seeing a counter to it just yet. He's going for some rhinoceros. Stacking a little bit too much wood here. I'm pretty happy with my balance right here. We're actually kind of like able to, yeah, we click up to Njord with a fair amount to spare. So maybe actually stacking a little bit too much if I'm able to do it that comfortably. Got a pretty massive troll force here. And we're just getting tons of value out of the sealing screen. Look at that, everything's just healed all the way up. Troll's healed all the way up. Throwing axeman full health. Meanwhile over here things are looking definitely worse for wear. Let's take a look at what he has here. So yeah, I mean it's fine, but it's more just about resources spent. I don't really know what this value means, but it seems to be in our favor. The main issue is that he has twice as many villagers as I do. More than twice as many. So if he can stabilize here, it'll be an issue. But just the trades here are coming in our favor. We get up and then he gets up right after. And his gold is not very strong right now, so he's got to be a little careful. I do pop the walking woods just to cause some chaos and free up some space in here. Lure his Mormillos into the trolls, which gets him, and the throwing axe, which will start to get a bunch of damage in. The walking woods get a nice surround of this entire army, and the cavalry moves in. Trying to get these cursors onto the behemoth, which is taking a lot of damage out, and he goes for Trader on the Draugr. Okay, I was wondering what that was doing. And once again, he gets enough of the walking woods down that I'm just not quite ready to siege this. But I think at this point I am leaving a little prematurely. These cursors are taking a lot of the damage here. And so while we kill his army, again cementing our sort of resource lead, we don't take much ground in terms of buildings, but we do have the mountain giant, and we are healing up everything in here, which is always good. Those things are looking pretty nice. Trolls are at full health, throwing axemen at full health, and we go for a hill fort just because like he's got so much invested in here and we've taken so many fights that if I can clear this out. There's also the town center, which is a big loss. I feel like, I know there's not a gold mine over here. There's this gold mine over here, but this is more, it's like we've decided to stand here and fight, and I just kind of sensed it. So I think maybe it would have been wiser to get a hill fort over here or something. I think I still could. I have enough resources to. But once it's up, I decide to go in. Cursors move forward. Giant starts stomping on things. Throwing axemen. Just spamming everything down. And it seems like he's having a lot of trouble finding the answer to this. I'm not really sure what these are. Contarius. And he does have a hero back there getting some damage into the mountain giant, but it's soaking up so much damage that it is it's definitely worth it. And over here we get the cavalry onto the back and surrounding his. We get a lucky mountain giant spawn right there. Very nice. And the battering rams start coming in. And right now we have a major military and resource advantage, despite the villager advantage. So we are... He's stacking up tons of resources. And his response seems to be to protect this gold mine with a palace. Over here, just kind of a general sort of looting of this area, sort of pillage. We're raising this position down with full might of the Norse army. Now I'm starting to stack up a little too much gold here. I'm having food issues. Start having to transition to farming. I'm pretty much out of hunt. No more chickens. And clearing this up. I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed with what to do. Look how many resources he has. He just needs. He's like totally out of production, but he's adapting to that over there. And at this point, I'm wondering whether or not to keep healing up or just move forward. But the lack of like response over here. Okay, so over here we had villagers hunting a rhinoceros, and I turned some of them into Olsarks, and we kill some villagers over here, which is nice. Push forward with the cavalry. He's making some destroyers, and I've had destroyers spam lose me games before, so at this point that makes me mad. I do spend the extra favor on another walking woods to try to get some of this. Some extra siege in. And the mountains and the battering rams are well guarded. We get another mountain giant spawn, and once again another big rout here. Well, just that I think there's sort of a gamble right there. Well, I was like, should I like let him build up again? And I think I definitely made the right decision to push in and clear that up sooner rather than later. So I think there was in my mind, in Sheep Thief's mind, there was a fork in the road, and in one universe I stayed here and kind of started to turtle, which I think would have been a huge error because of the villager lead that he was enjoying. And then in this universe I got triggered at the appearance of some destroyers and Hulk smashed. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is mainly the lessons of this match are more that less to do with some kind of there isn't one huge lesson or one huge error or one huge thing that went well, but rather a bunch of kind of little subtle things like the wall. I think the whole thing would have gone better. Like, I think I would have won the game earlier if I had a gate right there. And then I think with him, there's something that I'm not quite grasping in Age of Mythology just yet about making a second TC, because it seems like it's not going well almost every single time for people. And I don't do it. I kind of stick with one TC most of the time. And then I think my micro, just like straight up, the fights were partially going in my favor because my micro was decently strong. So I think if I can stay on the ball in response to raids and not make and sort of not make tiny little mistakes like not having a gate right here, I think my micro can carry me up decently high, but it's sort of the little mistakes add up and keep me down as far as rank goes. So, and it's the kind of thing where, like, he won the sort of very early game, and I think if he'd made a fewer errors, he was very much ready to win that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.